right, so we're here today with Ken Bomer. Ken is a patient who's been in our office for 6 weeks.
Correct.
He is a type 2 diabetic, and we're here to talk about some of the results that he's seen in the first 6 weeks. So just tell me first of all about some of the changes that you've seen in the first 6 weeks in this office.
Well, to tell you the truth, I got the information through the radio, and one day I was listening to the radio and I thought I need to make a change, and just wasn't feeling real good about myself. And my wife started a program through Barnes Hospital where she started losing weight, and I wasn't going to be the one that wasn't, falling behind. So in the last 6 weeks, my numbers have been great. I mean, my A1C's been down, my energy's been better. I've lost 25 pounds, and my eating habits are just phenomenally changed. I used to eat sandwiches at night before I go to bed, and drink a lot of beer and everything, and so I'm not doing that anymore. I might have a glass of wine and eat a lot of fresh fruit, a lot of vegetables, fish, lean meats, and it's working well.
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about some of the numbers that we saw. When you first came here, your fasting glucose was, do you remember?
9.8.
No, that was your A1C, was a 9.0, but your fasting glucose was either 287 or 278.
Okay.
Pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just looked at other test results today, and your fasting glucose was 154.
It sounds
right? And then in 6 weeks, we were able to lower your A1C from a 9.0 to today, and it was a
7.4.
7.4. So a big drop in half of the time that is even used to calculate A1C.
Mm-hmm.
Cholesterol drop, you started at a 230, today it was 180.
180.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we also saw some other issues on your blood work, some issues with digestion, some other things that we're still working on currently, okay? But in a short period of time, we've seen some pretty amazing results with you.
That's correct.
How do you feel about the dietary changes? I mean, is it something that's hard to follow, or is it something that's easy to follow? Tell us about the dietary changes.
Well, the only thing that's hard to get is some of the exotic foods from Trader Joe's or the food store. I try to do the best I can, and keep on a program of just fresh fruits in the morning and vegetables, and then some fish or turkey, or at night. A lot of salads, a lot of lettuce, so that's real good. And I don't think it's hard at all. It's a mindset. When you get down into the zone, you are just in a mindset where this is it. This is what I'm going to do.
Good. So you talked about exotic foods. Tell us some of those exotic foods, and I mean, are you buying them a lot, or what exotic foods are you talking about?
Just some of those spices that are on the list that you gave me, they're kind of hard to get. I can't name them.
So like some of the fermented foods for cholesterol, like kombucha tea and other stuff like that.
Exactly.
So it's not a lot of things, it's just a couple of things here or there that you have to go to a specialty store for, right?
Right, exactly.
Good. And then this program, is this something that you think is beneficial for type 2 diabetics?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
would you recommend it to other friends or family that you have that are diabetics?
Oh yeah, if I could get my daughter on this, she's way overweight. She weighs about 350 pounds, and she's leaning on trying to get where you get the sleeve in your stomach and all that. And so I don't know, she's not happy with herself. She's depressed, and it's all because of her weight. She doesn't feel good. Now she can see her mother start changing. Her mother was never one to take pictures of herself. She always hid behind somebody. So her mother's starting to really get in some new clothes and different things, and I don't know, both of us need to keep working for Rachel to see that we can't make her do anything. She has to do it on her own, so she's 26 years old, so
Right.
that's our goal.
Good. So the program that you're under here, is this pretty similar to what they were doing under your medical care, or is it like
No.
totally different? Tell us the difference a little bit there.
They had, from this program, it was so intense with all the different tests and things like that, and the things that we're doing. If I would have been on my old medical program, I would have been a diabetic for life, and my numbers would be the same, and my eating habits would be the same, and taking the insulin would be jacking up my sugars instead of lowering them. I mean, you know, I've learned a lot in 6 weeks.
Good. So when you started here, you were on insulin. How much were you taking on average on a daily basis?
I was taking metformin 1500 milligram. I was taking the Byetta and the Humalog. Byetta was on a sliding scale, and Humalog was about 90.
90 units of Humalog a day,
Yeah.
and Byetta, how many you think?
Probably about 30 to 40.
So you were on 120 to 130 units of insulin today. So the results that you got in the last 6 weeks, is that with insulin or without insulin?
Partially without insulin. We started, about a couple of weeks ago, and we quit the insulin totally.
The insulin, I think you quit about 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago, and then the metformin
You quit about a week ago.
a week ago, yeah.
A week ago.
Yeah.
So the results you've got so far were partially without any medications or insulin whatsoever.
That's correct.
Yep. And right now, are you taking any insulin or metformin at all?
0.
What about other medications? You were never on blood pressure medications, I don't
No,
think.
my blood pressure's always been good, but
Good.
I do take medicine for bipolar and, you know, the diabetic medicine, hyperthyroid, and Simvastatin.
Simvastatin.
Yeah, Simvastatin for the
Yeah.
cholesterol.
And so that's something we need to look at too, because we just saw your cholesterol drop 50 points.
Mhm.
So to be on a cholesterol lowering medication when your cholesterol is normal, kind of something we need to talk about. So,
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Are there any other things that you can tell us that you have noticed that have changed from what we've done here? Or we covered most of them?
Well, I think we've covered them a lot. I think like we should do this in another 6 weeks and see what's, you know, what happens then. I hope that the improvements will keep on progressing as well as they're doing now, and it's just a blessing to be here. I'm really glad.
Well, great. Congratulations on your numbers, and it's a pleasure to have you as a patient.
Thank you.
Thank you.